Good rising, good rising. Welcome to the Indigo Room, another live interactive broadcast of the Indigo Room. I haven't said that in a long time. Today's topic is hope, faith, and preparation. What are you doing? Are you prepared? Are you ready mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically for the storm that's brewing here in the United States of America, or maybe in an area where you live? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Indigo Room. I'm your host, Sydney Chase, and this is where we discuss all things spiritual. And Linda is hanging out in the background because she's going to come out soon. And by that, I mean that we are non physical spiritual beings having physical human experiences. Life is supposed to be good, it's supposed to be fun, supposed to be delicious, even when it's wiki wacky. And we know that right now it's kind of wiki wacky. Like stuff is wiki wacky. So, welcome. We're going to hopefully have a nice little discussion about prep. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? Here's some sage for the room. Sage, sage, sage. And sage himself. Sage, everybody. Here you go, Linda. I know you're in the chat room. So today there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on in the world. We're going to tickle our amygdala when folks start getting in here. Make sure I'm live. Is it live, Linda? Linda, are we live? Are we live? Let me check. I think we should be. I'm actually very hungry, which is, I didn't eat before I did this today. Silly me. All right, let me make sure that it is live. Yep, we're live. Okay. So today we're discussing some things you can do. Corona. Yeah, I'm going to have a corona. COVID-19 has shown up here in the United States. Hi, Sharon. Yay. In a way that is not scary, but we knew it was coming. I've been following this thing since January, and there's a lot that has transpired from January till now, and this is not the flu. So, please don't come in here talking about, well, the flu does this, the flu does that, and the flu. This is not that. They are both viruses. Yes, many of us have immunity to the flu. Many of us do die from the flu every year. However, COVID-19 is something new, and it is not the flu. And it doesn't act like the flu. It's a very intelligent virus, and it can hide, it can duck and dodge. And so there's so many things that are happening right now with regards to this particular outbreak that has happened initially in Wuhan, China. And I've been following this since before Dr. Lee, who was the whistleblower, passed away from the virus. I've been following this for a minute. So we're going to talk about some things that are really important. Linda's going to join us. We're going to tickle our amygdala first and make sure that the reason why we're talking about this is because not to induce fear in you, not to make you panic, but to educate you on what's happening if you're not educated already, because there's a lot of wiki wacky information going on. There's a lot of misinformation that's happening, and a lot of misinformation is coming from some sources that we trust. So we want to make sure that, you trust yourself, you trust your inner guidance, and that you listen to your inner guidance when it tells you, to do something, and follow your intuition. My intuition told me a couple of things. I've been doing that. I've been taking care of that, because here's the thing. Luck is basically, right, preparation meeting opportunity. So if you want to get through this thing, it's not going to be luck that helps you get through this thing. It's going to be, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually preparing yourself to be able to move through some of the lies, some of the panic, some of the fear that is going to be rampant, or that has already been rampant, throughout mass media, throughout social media, from your friends and family and people that, may not have any idea what the hell is going on. They're just scared. They don't want to die. Oh, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. So there's a lot of different things, a lot of different factors that are involved with this epidemic. I don't want to call it a pandemic, because the WHO said they're not calling it a pandemic. But it seems like it's kind of pandemical, right? Okay. So let me get Linda. Oh, wait, let's tickle our amygdala first. I gave you your sage, so if you wasn't here earlier, it's dying down. And if you need more, I'll do it again. But we're gonna tickle our amygdala. Where's your amygdala? It's over the temple. It's right over your two temples here. One on one side, one on the other side. And we're gonna tickle it because it opens up your frontal lobe. And when your amygdala is clicked closed, you're in fright and flight mode, which is not where we want to be. We want to be in a space that we can receive the messages from our inner guidance, from our source, to tell us, what our next step might be. If you got a problem going on, or something wicky wacky is happening, like right now. Okay, so grab your feather. Imagine that you have a feather in your hand. You're going to feel the bristles of the feather. Yay! Feel it, feel it, feel it. And then slide. Imagine the color. Sorry. Got to get the color. You got to get the bristles. You got to get the whole feather action going. And then you're going to slide the feather up into the center of your forehead, and then tickle your amygdala on the right. And then slide it over and tickle your amygdala on the left. It's just an imaginary tickle. And then that's it. And then we're done. Yay. Okay. So I'm going to bring Linda out, and we're going to have a little bit of a discussion. There's some points I want to address, some things I want to share, and to help you help yourself, because there's things that are starting to pop off in the United States and other countries as well. So let's get Linda. Hi, Linda.
Hello, hello.
Sharon, can you hear Linda okay? Let a sister know. All right. If you can't hear Linda, just let us know and we'll try to fix it. But I think she's good today. Sounds like she's good today. So some of the things that, first of all, I want to talk about is the fear, right? There's a lot of stuff. And if you're watching TV, oh, great. Thanks, Sharon. If you're watching TV, there's a lot of stuff going on the news about coronavirus and what our government, the United States in particular, is doing or hasn't done. And people are trying to blame each other, calling each other names. And who cares about all of that? I don't care about any of that, to be truthful. There's conspiracy theories that are floating around, that how the virus got released. It's a bioweapon. It's this, it's that. I don't care about any of that either. You know why? Because the virus is out and it is affecting our global community. And the reason that none of that, where it came from, who shot John, because the horse is out the barn right now, right? The horse is out the barn and it is running amok. And it doesn't matter who opened the door. What matters now is how do you, as an individual, as a family, as a community, as country, help yourself and help others to move through these crazy times. So this particular strain is very, very virulent. It is easily passed from one person to another, and it's highly contagious. Highly. Um, it is asymptomatic, which means it doesn't show symptoms at all initially, and you can be shedding the virus and you don't even know it because you're walking around and you're feeling great, and you're feeling healthy, and you're feeling wonderful, and you could be shedding the virus and contaminating other people. So there's a lot of things that you can do to um, help help the community. Number one, and when you were a kid, you were told to wash your hands, right, Linda?
Yes.
Washing your hands is a really easy thing you can do. Um, and keeping hand sanitizer. I learned a lot by watching Dr. John Campbell, sorry. And I'm going to put his information up. He is a really amazing doctor. He has a lot of information that he shares every day, sometimes twice a day. And I will get his YouTube channel and put it in the chat. But I put it up on the banner. But let me put it in the chat. Sorry about that, folks. Hi, Barb. Today's show is going to be a little longer than an hour. Just drove up from my walk, have been listening. Aw. Cool beans. So Dr. John Campbell is in the UK, and he has been following this initial outbreak since it started since we finally got word that there was an issue in January. And he's very informative. He's really helpful. He's not a scaremonger. He breaks things down to their smallest component so that you can understand and comprehend what is this virus and how it affects people. He talks about the R naught and he explains what that is. And it's the ratio from one person to another, and how, if it's a 1 to 2 ratio, that means that it is one person can infect 2 people. This particular strain seems to be highly contagious, but Dr. Campbell gives you really, really, he breaks it down so easily so that you will, by the time you're done, you'll feel like you're a freaking expert, for real, on viruses in general and health and body stuff, because it's not confusing. And he's really easy to understand. He has a really great demeanor. His channel has grown since I've been watching him. When I first got there, I think it was like 100,000 people, maybe 90,000. To now it's doubled that. He's in the 400,000s. And he says, the other day when I was listening to him, he says, you went live, because he doesn't often go live. And he went live and it was like, whoosh. There was people just stalked their devices waiting for him to upload a video, because he's really, really, really helpful. He's really, really, really informative. So if you're confused, or if you feel like, if your health ministers or people are not giving you great information. He's a great person to listen to. And again, it's like I said, it's not a big fear monger, but he called this out um, weeks ago about what's now happening in the United States and the UK. And I suggest that you all take a look at him and listen to him if you're interested in. He teaches you how to wash your hands effectively and why washing your hands for this particular virus is really key. There are this particular virus not only is can be spread through human contact, it is also airborne. It's an aerosol virus, and it can land and live on surfaces. So when people sneeze, it can land and live on surfaces for a long period of time, and this is why it is so infectious and how quickly it infects people. There is a strain, and it does. The thing of it is that um, we, when I say we, the community, just in general, the global community, doesn't know much about this disease because it's new, or this virus. They don't know much about it. And there have been reports, not sure, but there have been reports of people who have recovered and then got reinfected. So you do want to be mindful of washing your hands, you know, covering your mouth when you sneeze, covering your mouth when you cough, and talk about what the symptoms are and how to identify that. If you have a runny nose and if you're, uh, your eyes are watering and you're feeling bad, that does not mean you have coronavirus. Coronavirus is asymptomatic. It doesn't show symptoms initially. So if you have it, you might not even know that you have it. That's one of the really wicky wacky things about this particular virus is that you could be walking around just feeling fine, minding your own business, and then you get sick. But in the mean, all of a sudden you get sick and you'll have a dry cough. That's number one. Yeah, you might have body aches with it, but you'll definitely have a dry cough and you're going to start running a fever. And you won't even know that you were infected because it doesn't present like the flu. This is why people, when they keep saying, well, it's the flu this, the flu that, it doesn't present like the flu because it's totally different. That's like saying, okay, Linda and I, there's a storm coming, Linda, and we better get ready. And you ask me, what kind of storm is it? Or ask me, what kind of storm is it?
What kind of storm is it?
Well, it's a weather storm, Linda. It's a weather.
Okay.
See? Okay. Well, it's rain. It's a rainstorm that's coming, and it's going to bring lots of rain and wind, and so you have to prepare for that. And and then Linda says to me, "Well, we've had storms before. We had a snowstorm last week." Linda, what does a snowstorm have to do with a rainstorm?
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. A rainstorm is a rainstorm, and a snowstorm is a snowstorm. So, but, but, they both are types of weather. So you have the flu and you have COVID-19. They are both coronaviruses, and that is the end of it. That's it. That's all. That's the only connection that they have. Just like rain and snow are connected because they're both weather systems. So you don't prepare for the flu like you don't prepare for COVID-19 like you would prepare for the flu. And you don't prepare for a rainstorm like you would prepare for a snowstorm. A snowstorm, you need different tools. In a rainstorm, you need a rain jacket. In a snowstorm, you're going to need shovel and ice and all of that. So these are two totally different things. Just like a cold is also considered coronavirus. It is a different type. And this one is new. We've never seen it before. We've never experienced it before. And it does not, we do not have any immunity for it. So some of us might get sick. The majority of us may not, but some of us might. And it might be mild. Like there's no vaccine for it. There's no like cure for it because it just came out like a month ago, 2 months ago. So some of us might get sick. Some of us might recover quickly. And some of us might get very sick and recover. And some of us might not make it through. So that is what this particular thing is. So it's gonna present with a cough. It's not going to be runny nose and it's not going to be productive. It's not going to feel like, when you get sick with the flu or anything like that, it doesn't feel like that. It's like you get a cough, you might get a fever, and maybe some body aches initially. And you may get a sore throat, but you won't have any kind of runny nose and blowing your nose and all of that. That doesn't present initially. So trust that if you have the flu, it's going to present differently. Now, I had a little bit of a scare with my son out there in Japan because last week when I called him up to check on him, and, I'm the mama. And so I've been telling my sons about this particular thing. And, when the ship landed in Yokohama, I was a little, paying attention to what was happening in that area because, my son is in that area. So I did the distance, how far is Bandu from Yokohama? And, how does it, at this point, we didn't know anything. Was it airborne? So I was kind of, a little bit concerned, but not really at the time because, it seemed like everything was under control. And so I was letting them know what was going on and just keeping abreast of what was happening. And then last week, or the week, was it last week or the week before last? Yeah, last week. Maybe a week before last. I, told them that I was buying them masks and that I was shipping them, both my sons, that I was shipping them stuff, to just help keep their immune system boosted up. Because that's really key. You want to keep your immune system boosted. And then, I really didn't hear from Stephen. He's usually on it, gives me a call. So like, a few days have passed and then finally I called him and I'm looking at him and he's laying down and I said, well, what's the matter with you? So, well, I didn't want to scare you, Ma. But, then he tells me that he was sick and he went to the hospital, emergency room. They tested him and he had influenza A, which is avian flu. I didn't even know that was still around. Did you, Linda?
I didn't really think about it, but yeah, I could see it's very possible.
Yeah. So, I didn't know that he said, I have influenza A. I was like, okay, there's a difference. Flu is flu, I thought. But no, apparently he had the avian flu. And they gave him some meds and put him on a 5-day uh, regimen of medications that he had to take. And they gave him Tamiflu, which really messed him up because it has all these side effects that come with it. Um, but anyway, he was fine. And I had shipped out the package to him. And it's so funny because the package that I shipped out last time took 10 to 14 days to get to him. This package I sent out to him a week before the last week. I mailed it out on a Tuesday and he got it Sunday. It was delivered on a Sunday, U.S. Postal Service. And it had all his medicines and stuff in it and the masks. So he was happy and he had to go to school to go to work the next day. So he's able to wear his mask so he didn't want to infect the rest of the kids and his coworkers. Come to find out that he is Shinzo Abe, the prime minister of Japan, has closed all schools in the country. So now no one is working right now. Well, they're supposed to go back to school on Monday, but there's no school now across the entire country. He shut it down. And so now he's, trying to figure out how, there's no implementation to work from home yet. So they got to figure out what they're going to do if people are going to be working from home. The company that I work for also sent out a notice about, if things happen and, the virus is making its way through our facility, that we would, some of us, I don't even know, we can't work from home. So, these are the things that are also going to affect you. So the virus itself may not hit you. However, there are after effects from the virus that may impact you. And that's when we're talking about preparation and faith and hope. It's not about, making you fearful. It's about preparation. So if you're prepared, then and you do what's necessary in case something does happen in your area where you live, then you're able to sustain yourself for, at least 14 days if necessary. So we want to talk about that too. But getting back to the symptoms of what COVID-19, the symptoms are, again, you would have a sore throat, a dry cough, non-productive cough. You may run a fever. And then if that happens, you need to contact your healthcare provider because there are right now 3 known cases in the West Coast that there is no known origin. Like these people have the virus, but they haven't been in contact with anyone who was in any of those affected areas. So that means there's a community spread. And you can look that up on the CDC, what the community spread is, what the information is about that. But so if there's a community spread, and the fact this is concerning because these people have not traveled any place. So the youngest one is 16 years old. And, again, you are shedding the virus. You're asymptomatic. So you're shedding the virus, and the virus has an effect on people who are not necessarily that you don't know. You never met them before. And, this is what happens. So just know what the symptoms are. If you have any of those symptoms, then you need to contact your healthcare physician. Do not go outside yet. Let them know what is going on, and like you have these symptoms, And then, you'll handle it from there. You don't want to infect anybody else by running around and saying, go to the hospital or whatever. So just be mindful of that. Those are the symptoms, and that's what will show up. But you won't know you have it prior to that, prior to those symptoms showing up. Linda, have you had a chance to check out Dr. John Campbell?
I listened to part of him explaining what a virus was.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't been listening to his other things, but I probably will do that now.
He's really quite amiable and quite helpful. He says, now that there are so many people coming in and listening to him, and he said, usually I have 6 people in his chat, when he goes live, kind of like me when I have my chat, it's like 6 of us, 5 of us. But now he has thousands of people, so he's trying to answer questions. He did a question and answer this morning, and it's hilarious because people are like, "Do you ever leave your room? Do you ever leave that room? Maybe somebody should bring you a biscuit or something." Because he's one of those, how scientists get when they're trying to figure out stuff and look at different angles, and they don't leave. He says, I changed my shirt, people bring me food, I'm because he's constantly studying, and then when he finds something interesting or helpful, he immediately makes a video and lets the rest of us know. So you should subscribe to him, and just when you get the ding, take a look. Sometimes I just listen to him, like I'm not watching him necessarily. I just have him playing on, but he will show diagrams, and then I got to jump back in front of the computer or my phone or my laptop and go, what did you say?
Yeah, I do like that he draws stuff out a lot.
Yeah, and I love it, because if it doesn't make sense, it will make sense by the end of the video for you. Whatever he's talking about. So this virus does turn into pneumonia, and that is where the problem has. So if you have if a patient has underlying health conditions, it can seriously work over their body, and it feels like you can't breathe. Literally, it cuts off. If the fluid fills up your lungs, mucus fills up your lungs, and it feels like you can't breathe, and you have a really difficult time breathing. And so oxygen is something that is definitely necessary. So I've been doing my deep breathing anyway, just filling up my lungs with oxygen and letting it out slowly. And that helps also to fill up your blood with oxygen. And we don't breathe properly. So it's helpful to bring in more oxygen into your body as often as possible. Not like you're going to pass out and take deep breaths like you're breathing into a big bag kind of thing, but just occasionally take some really deep breaths and oxygenate your body. That's very helpful. Also, the virus can live on surfaces for quite a long period of time. This particular one, and you want to get yourself some Lysol when you go out, when you're out and about. You want to have some Lysol in your house. Spray your doorknobs or whatever. Get some regular soap, and water is great for your hands, to wash your hands, but you also want to have some antibacterial available for when you're out and about. We touch everything, and everything's used for our hands. The one thing I do have to say about China right now is they seem to have contained this outbreak, and um, Singapore Singapore is really, really good at what they're doing to maintain this outbreak. However, the numbers are still growing, and growing rather quickly in South Korea or Singapore, and no, not Singapore, South Korea. The numbers are growing rather quickly in South Korea, and they even do drive-by testing, which I love. So if you feel like you are coming down with something, they have a system set up where you could drive by. You don't even have to get out of your car. They come to you where you're at, give you the test or whatever in their little hazmat suits and stuff. And then you can go home and self quarantine. So you're not infecting the rest of the community. You're staying in your car, you do drive-bys, you get tested, you go home. So if you guys have any questions, let a sister know while she's talking. Are you guys afraid? I hope you're not, because you really shouldn't be. Are you afraid, Linda?
No.
Good. Sharon, Barb, are you guys afraid? Because I don't want you to be. None of this should be making you fearful. It should be making you happy that you're getting some information on what to do and what the symptoms are. Also, the this virus that people are comparing to the flu and saying that what this is no different than the flu. It's very different because also it costs up to $3,700 and some change to even get tested. So Bob said, I joined Dr. Campbell's group and we'll be looking more into him. Sharon says, I am not afraid. Good girlfriend. Yay. Bob says, I am not afraid. Awesome. That's great. What was I going to say? What was I saying, Linda? Do you remember? I lost my notes. Well, shit, I lost my train of thought. Ooh, sugar. Sugar. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was hi Wanda. Hi, welcome. Was that it does live on surfaces for a long period of time. You do want to spray yourself, have Lysol. I picked Lysol up yesterday, big old bottle, and it does say on the label that it kills coronavirus. However, just trust me, this is not that coronavirus it's talking about, but it is very, very powerful. So if you don't have any Lysol spray, you do want to get yourself some, spray the doorknobs when you're going out, by your door. And it's a really great disinfectant for hard surfaces for when you're coming in from outside. They also have Lysol wipes that are really, really great for cleaning your hard surfaces and, wiping stuff down. You don't want to go overboard and be a nut job, OCD, but you do want to try to keep your space clean and your area clean, especially at work. So if you're at work right now and you're still able to work at your job and nothing's going on, crazy, bring some of those to your job, the Lysol wipes. Don't get those little Dollar General disinfectant things. Sorry, no. I love Dollar General. I'm always in Dollar General. I buy everything from Dollar General. No disparaging remarks about Dollar General, but this particular thing, you want to get the Lysol wipes.
Clorox also puts out their brand of it,
Yes.
and it's very good.
Yes, I have those too. Those are great. I'm running out, so I have to buy some more. Um,
I just wanted to say one more thing about washing your hands. Um, not only do you need to wash your hands constantly, but when you come back in from outside, you need to, this is from Dr. Jeanette Gallagher. Um, you need to wash your hands and your face when you come back in, not just your hands.
okay, that's a good tip. Wash your hands and your face. Wanda just said the entire emergency departments are all wearing masks. She's a
Hmm.
nurse. That's where she works in healthcare, and yeah, they're all wearing masks. Now, are you wearing masks to protect yourself? Because you know we're told that we don't need to wear them. I have mine. I don't care what anybody says. I have mine. And it has replacement filters. Oh, let me go get it so I can show you what it looks like. Go ahead, talk, Linda. You have
Okay.
stuff that you want to
Um,
share too. So we'll get
the
back on
I'll talk a
washing
little.
hands and well,
Yeah.
how to keep yourself healthy. Yeah.
Hmm. Um, I picked up my package of N95 masks, and one of the things that Dr. Jeanette recommends also is that just buy the box and put it in a Ziploc bag, um, because those masks are not sealed, uh, sealed tight. So that way, you know, when you open, if you need to use a mask, when you open your Ziploc bag, that you're taking out something that's still clean.
Okay, that's cool. I will do that with mine. Mine came in sealed.
Oh, well, that's great. I bought a box of, I think, 10 or 12. I went to the building supply and they carry N95 masks, and they're like, I think it was $13 or whatever. Yeah, cool.
Sharon says wearing masks at work. That's good. Now, are you guys wearing masks to protect yourself, or are you wearing masks to protect the patients? Correct. Um, I'm thinking that everybody, wants to be protected. This is what mine looks like, and then I put the filters in um, to wear.
Yeah. Also, you probably, depending on where you are, you might just want to put, one in a plastic bag that you can zip shut and just carry it with you.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if they're, it's just being prepared. You may never have to use it, but it's
Right.
better to have it wherever you are. I
Exactly.
mean, a lot of us use public transportation. Um,
Exactly.
if I was flying on an airplane, I would wear a mask because they're notorious for poorly circulated air.
Agree. I would definitely wear a mask. It's not about, again, it's not about fear mongering. It's about preparation. It's about understanding that, this virus you can get infected. Who wants to get sick with that? I don't. So, I got masks for myself, my son, last month, for all of us at the beginning of the month. I did that. And as soon as January 23rd popped off, and I was paying attention in January about what was going on with this virus, and no news media was paying attention to it at that time. And it was very difficult to get the news out, to get the word out. The Chinese people in Wuhan were having a difficult time just getting their information out. And I remember posting something about this nurse who was in Wuhan, and she was showing the videos of people who were sick in the same spaces as people who were dead. And there were dead people on the floor, and there was sick people that they were trying to help right next to them. The reason being is they got overwhelmed. The hospitals got overwhelmed by how many people were coming in and how many people were sick. And because they got overwhelmed, some people actually did die right there in the hospital, not even having been treated. The amount of people that she was saying, though, was quite different from the number that the Chinese government was saying was sick. So there is seems to be, from what I've seen, um, a discrepancy of what the actual people have reported and what the government has reported. And the government was reporting people who were. This is why um, folks are saying, well, there's more people that die from the flu. There's more people that die from the flu every year than, have died from this virus. That the numbers that are being shown, you would say, yes, that is the case. There's not, it doesn't, it's only 2,900 people according to this. However, if the hospitals were so overwhelmed and overrun, and the people, if they weren't tested, literally tested, they weren't counted as part of the amount of people who got sick. And if they weren't tested or they weren't seen, they were given medicine and told to go home and isolate at home. They were not counted. And so the numbers are different according to just a regular Joe Schmo person. Okay. And many people were self isolated at home, and many people died at home, and those numbers weren't counted in the death toll. So we may never know the actual numbers, because then the numbers changed when the WHO, World Health Organization, touched down in Japan. When they touched down in Japan 3 weeks ago, that's when the numbers shot up dramatically, because what they did was they changed how they diagnosed people. It wasn't now just from the test, it was from the test and being clinically diagnosed. So if you came in with the symptoms, you were added to the list, even though you hadn't been tested yet. Then the WHO left China after they did their assessment, and then the numbers went back to, if you've been tested, then you're being counted. So that's why we saw the upshoot of the numbers initially, and then we see a drop now. And now we're seeing a leveling off. There have been reports coming out of China that crematoriums were being going on 24/7. So it's good that you have to burn the bodies, because of the disease and all that. They were taking them to crematoriums, portable crematoriums that have been shipped in. However, there's no count, so you don't have a definite count. So what's happening in Italy, however, and Iran is quite different. It's exploding there, and it's sort of matching, because they're reporting their numbers accurately. It's sort of matching what you would have expected in China had they been reporting their numbers correctly. So there's so much happening and there's so much going on that it's not clear. And this is why you can't say it's the same thing as the flu, because the numbers are just skewed. So if you are interested in seeing the numbers, then you can go for yourself, because this is something that I do. I'm keeping, I'm not scared, so it doesn't bother me. But if you're interested in looking and seeing where the numbers are now, the United States did not report. We had 15 reported for the longest time, just 15 in the whole of the United States. That's all we had. Okay. And then we repatriated for the people from the ship, from the cruise ship. And 14 of those people, they found out on the plane. After they got on the plane, they found out that they were showing symptoms. They all had tested negative, positive for the coronavirus, and they were starting to get sick. So there's a piece of plastic that they put up in between those people and the other people who were healthy. Everybody's been put into quarantine. Even those additional 14 people were not counted. So by now, at that point, we should have had at least 29, right? It stayed 15 forever. It has since changed. Now our numbers are different. This is the site that you want to go to for world updates. And right now, the when I looked at it this morning, it was 87,000. It has since gone up in that short period of time. It is now at 88,338 people have been infected. So it just shot up within a short period of time. And Wanda says, he says, can I tell you, I saw this coming. I was in China last year, and my thoughts were this exact thing, that because of the economy and dense population, that a health epidemic would happen. They were so sick. These people were so sick, all cough, all over Beijing in stores and restaurants. I went to a public bathroom and saw blood-tinged tissues all over in trash cans because they don't have toilets to flush tissues. So the viruses were all probably in the air as droplets. Yeah. And that was early 2019. Wow. Wow. So you don't quarantine a whole city of 11 million people for the flu, for just the flu. You don't quarantine 10 additional cities. You don't lock them down just for the flu. They were locked down. And when I say locked down, if you go and you could do the research yourself and see, even from the sky, NASA says the sky is clear. This is the clearest they've ever seen the sky over this certain area in Japan, because the smog and emissions and all that.
You mean China?
I mean, yeah, China. Sorry, not Japan. China, not Japan. Um, yeah. So the emissions, even so, something's happening there. People are not working. They're not able to go to work because they closed everything. Everything is shut down. It's like a ghost town. Beijing is like a ghost town. Beijing, one of the busiest places in China, is I do agree with you, Wanda, that I feel the Chinese government is definitely aware of it. I think they're trying to get ahead of it, trying to save face. They don't want us to know actually how many people actually have the virus and how many people, are sick and how many people are critically ill and how many people are dying. Because if you look at the numbers, I'm just going to share the screen for a minute. If you look at the numbers, it's 88,000, 3,000 deaths. It says 42,000 have recovered. Okay, what does that mean? Like recovered? Are they healthy now? That they're not shedding the virus? What's going on? But here's the list. When you move down, let me see. Here's the list going by country. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. And let me just zoom in a little bit more. Oops, I don't want to zoom in that much. Okay. So this is the list by country. And China is at 79,000, and the new cases reported as of right now is plus 577. Now that's starting to go up again, I'm noticing, because it went plus 200, plus 300 last week, a couple days last week. So that's different. I didn't see that. Now South Korea is growing quite a bit. And the reason what happened with them was this woman, um, one person who was asymptomatic started shedding the virus at a function, like a church function. She belonged to some sort of Christian religion thing, and they had like a little convention or whatever. And initially, they found that there were 100 people who were positive from this one lady. Then it went up to 1,000 people. And then it just spread. So right now it's 3,736 people who have been infected, and plus 568 new cases, and 30 have totally recovered. Only 30. And then there's 10 that are in critical condition, and they've had 21 deaths. And Italy is also something that's going on there. This virus is really intelligent. It can hide and it can mutate, we think, or what the medical community thinks it's possible that it can mutate. So it's very intelligent, it's really smart. The flu is kind of its stupid brother. God bless it. But Italy right now has 1,694 cases. And again, there's one person who was not in China, never went to China, and South Korea, the woman never went to China either. And since that time, they have now 1,000. And it was like last week, just like within a week. It's growing every 3 days. The numbers jump up higher. So they have 83 cases who have recovered, and they have 140 who are in critical condition. And there's something definitely going on in Iran. So these three places, their numbers are really just nuts. But Iran says they don't have anybody that's in critical condition. So I don't know what's happening with that. And Japan has 252 cases, and they went up this week plus 11. Now, I have to say that Shinzo Abe and what they're doing in Japan is they're shutting stuff down and trying to contain it. And the 705 off the Diamond Princess cruise ship is 705 new cases. So there is something that is happening. Now we have 73 reported in the United States. 3 are in serious condition. Only 9 have recovered so far. And we have 1 death because a person died yesterday in Washington State, a man in his 50s. And we send love and light out to his friends and family because, that's a hard thing. So you do want to just be mindful that this is not the flu. That's all I can say. I just got to keep saying that this is not the flu. Um, Wanda says, I was in a taxi and the driver, who looked like he was 70 years old and was probably only in his 40s, was sick, coughing the entire ride. Beijing has a large homeless population, many whom are elderly. Wow. I did not know that. That's the other thing, so if, you have to think about the people who are homeless and how it's going to affect them should something happen. So the other part of this whole scenario is our global economy. We are all connected globally, right? And so many of our products are imported into the United States. I don't know what we manufacture much. What do we make here anymore? Linda, do you know?
We make a lot of yarn here. I know that. We raise sheep and
We make,
cattle.
yeah. No, I'm talking about manufacturing.
Oh, manufacturing. Oh, like clothes and stuff.
Yeah. Look for the union label.
Yeah.
When you are buying a coat, dress, or blouse. Remember that song?
Oh, yeah.
Remember somewhere.
Yep.
um, what do we manufacture in the United States? I know we have IT and all of that, and but even everything is shipped out to other places and made in other countries. So, I mean, the majority of things. I don't know what we have small plants, I guess, like the what do you call it, pillow. I know that's made in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Says it on the pillow.
Right.
Um,
As seen, a lot of the as seen on TV stuff is
right,
made in the U.S.
right. Um, but now the global economy, we're all connected. And that has been my issue from day one. Not to prepare for myself to stay, to be quarantined because I'm sick, but what happens now because there's a disruption in the supply chain. The disruption comes because right now the main manufacturing cities in China are on lockdown. These people are not able to go to work. They're talking about they're just starting to bring them back to work. But some of them are still sick. So this Wuhan city of Wuhan is a major manufacturer. So there's been no production for a month of cars, of whatever, cell phones, whatever it is that they produce over there. There's a lot of different things. Oh, Barb said we produce farm equipment. That's true, at least in Wisconsin. Is John Deere still in the United States?
Yep.
Okay. But that's not enough. Um, Also, China is a large manufacturer of, guess what?
Masks.
Masks. And so if you're trying to buy a mask right now, trust me, there are none available. I have friends and family that are trying to buy masks, and my sister was trying to buy masks, and there's none available.
Oh, you can buy them on eBay, but they want like $15 or $20 now for a mask. It's crazy.
Yeah, for one.
Yeah.
one non no replaceable mask, like disposable ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much money they want. When I purchased my reusable mask and the filters for them, initially the mask when I first looked at it was $13. By the time I went to get it, it was $20 each. Then it went up to $39.99, and I don't know what happened after that, but there's no more available in that particular mask. They're not available. They don't know when the supply is coming in and if it's coming in. They also go
And
ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Linda.
yeah, the same thing happened here. I went and bought a box, and another guy was coming. There were only 3 boxes left on the shelf, and he saw me carry the box out because we have a no plastic bag thing here. So I was just doing the sorry, it's 11:11 here.
Oh,
Um,
oh, that's mine. Mine went off too before, at 11:11.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he had, what aisle did you find them on? And I told him, and I said, "Are you doing this for the coronavirus?" And he said, "Yes." So
Wow.
there was, and if I'd waited till the next day, there would have been none.
It would have been none.
And that was at a building supply place. I didn't go to Walmart because apparently he told me Walmart was out of them already.
And
So,
when was this?
I think
The
Wednesday.
Wow. Okay, it was Wednesday this week.
Yeah, this past week. Yeah.
My sister was running around in Austin looking for them where she was, and they told her that they had them at Home Depot. And she got there, they were gone. They told her they had it at CVS. She got there, they were gone. They told her that the shipment was coming. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for them now, you may find them, but you are going to be hard pressed, and you're gonna pay a lot of money for them.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that the Surgeon General has stated is um, stop buying. He wants the public to stop buying masks. I don't trust that, quite frankly.
Nor
Okay?
do I.
Because if he said because we need it for our medical professionals. Well, if the medical professionals have to wear them, right, to keep themselves healthy, does it? Don't we need them too? He said, well, we don't need them. They need them. And I agree that the
Excuse
medical
me.
professionals need them. Huh?
I said, excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Medical professionals need them. He
I
said
do
that
too.
you don't need them. He said the general public doesn't need them because the virus is, minimal, very low risk to the general public. So then why do doctors and nurses and everybody else need them? Right? I'm keeping mine. Thank you very much. And if I can find more replacement filters, I'm buying them too. Okay. And the other thing is, not to get political, but I'm gonna have to. Um, if we would have helped Puerto Rico rebuild as quickly as possible, we might have more medical supplies in the chain right now because that's what they do over there. So we relied on China to give us our medical supplies. 80% of our antibiotics comes from China. You were saying that a lot of our fruits and vegetables come from China, right? Ooh, Linda, are you there? Did we lose Linda?
No, I'm here.
Oh, you were saying that 80% of our, I mean, not
You
80%, but
were,
a lot of our fruits and vegetables come from China.
yeah. And actually, Dr. Jeanette Gallagher, who's um, also recommended that you might consider shifting to not buying fresh but frozen for a month or two,
Right.
because somebody can, as soon as they touch, like you take an orange, they decide they don't want it and they put it back in the pile, and they've got the virus, it spread the entire, all the oranges now have
Mm,
that.
mm,
I mean, that's again because of the way it spreads, or you have somebody sneeze in the grocery store in the produce department.
exactly.
Dr. Campbell showed you how far that spread.
Exactly.
And just, so um I'm uh I switched over to frozen. I I have a bunch of frozen vegetables, but I'm going to be eating a lot more of those than fresh for right now. And
And,
I live on the West Coast. We have Chinese, we have ships coming in from China and all other places to our major ports: Seattle, San Diego, Los Angeles, Oakland, San Francisco, Seattle. And those are all major shipping ports.
right.
And, San Francisco went and, declared
New
an
York.
emergency. Yeah. And so, um, when I used to live in the San Francisco Bay Area, when they had dock workers strikes, I mean, the whole bay was filled with ships at anchor because they couldn't unload. And, um, I don't know what they're going to do about that. I don't know what kind of enforcement they've got if they're going to go out to all the ships and test the crew and stuff
Hmm.
or not. And, it, it, we'll find out.
Well, it does have a trickle down effect.
Yes.
We're not talking now just about being sick and how to remain healthy. You also have to understand that affects the supply chain. So if everyone was relying on China as their cheap labor for their supplies, for their products, and now we have no production for at least 30 days, how do you think that's going to affect the chain? It trickles down. So if we have an overrun, let's say in each city, in each hospital, you have 500 people that get sick. Not even 500. How about 200 people who get sick? Our hospital system, our healthcare system right now, the way it's set up, is not set up to even take care of those infectious, critical people. So what do? You send them home, you tell them to self isolate. You have to monitor them, right? You have to make sure that they're not going out. You get on a system. So now you have people who now you have an overrun healthcare system. We don't have enough right now. The way the things are set up, there's not enough medications. There's not enough kits even to test.
Mm-hmm.
One test is $3,000 over. So we don't even have enough kits to test the community. And that becomes a crisis when your healthcare system is overrun. And the reason why I say overrun is because there will be other things that are going, other issues that are coming to the hospital. People may have a diabetic issue, they may have a heart attack. So all of that now is exacerbated, critically exacerbated, with the new additional cases. So how does our healthcare system is under pressure? How is it going to make sure that everybody is healthy and is taken care of? We saw what happened in Wuhan, and as what Wanda was saying, she saw that this something like this could happen. We have a huge homeless population in the United States as well. We have a huge wealth gap. You know, there's many people who do not have health insurance, who, if they get sick or can't get their medicine within the next 30 days, it's critical. It's a critical thing. So those people are going to also be entering into the healthcare system. We have elderly that it's going to affect. Right now in Washington, there is 50 suspected, or what do they call that? Plausible positive elderly people in a nursing home. It seems like we've got a little bit of a hotspot happening in Washington State. So those things start to become critical because now you have to take healthcare people, healthcare professionals, to be able to go and assess the what's going on there, and they need their equipment, their hazmat equipment. I saw a picture of the medical professionals today. I think it was on the Washington Post, and they're showing the pictures of removing, helping to remove the body of the person who died and whatever. They were checking on somebody, putting somebody in an ambulance. No mask, no gloves, just regular, no hazmat suits and none of that. So, we are very complacent here in the United States, very complacent and very myopic. We don't think anything can touch us. We don't think, we got the best this, we got the best that. We do have a lot of best things. However, we've never been hit with something like this before. So now you have a break in the chain, and this is where your preparation needs to come into play. Make sure you have enough medicine that you can last yourself. If you need it, if you take medicines every day, if you're on a prescription, make sure that, speak to your doctor. If there's something that happens and we have to go into lockdown, or we have to, be self quarantined in your city for 14 or more days, do you have enough medicines? Do you have enough dog food for your pets, your animals? So I've been systematically, since I heard about this, just putting stuff aside a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, every day. Just not every day, every week, buying a little bit of something to put in my stash should something happen in New York City.
Yeah, I have a little list of shelf stable stuff that's been recommended to keep, if I might share.
Yes, please share, Linda.
Okay. Um, this is actually from Bobby Parrish, Flav City on YouTube. Um, he recommended sauerkraut that's naturally fermented. That's not the one that you get in the refrigerated aisle. It's in a jar and it's with the vegetables and stuff in the store. And this is all stuff that he actually went to a Walmart neighborhood store and found.
Oh,
Can
Linda,
Yes,
this is also has to do a lot for keto, right? If you're in the keto
yeah,
diet,
keto
right?
and low carb. Um, Canned vegetables, any canned beans, but make sure they're organic. Dried, and this is for to help with your immunity as well, and keep your immunity system up. Um, all canned beans are steamed in the can. Cooking raw beans at home doesn't release because they're not pressure cooked. Um, there's something in them I've forgotten. He says in his video. Um, but anyway, canned beans, make sure they're organic. Canned corn, organic and no salt. Um, and then organic oats, like not Quaker oats, but the big container or bag,
Mm-hmm,
um, like Bob's Red Mill or something, and steel cut oats.
mm-hmm,
Uh, any kind of he recommends Himalayan pink salt or a gray salt or something like that. Also, for beef, he was saying there's a biltong beef jerky that uh, has nothing in it but basically just the meat and the salt. And for canned fish, tuna, he recommends getting skipjack or chunk tuna in water. The reason is skipjack and chunk tuna in water has lower mercury levels than albacore. Um, any canned wild salmon, um, and any sardines that are wild caught. And then if you're going to keep stuff frozen, he recommends pretty much anything that Amy's brand puts out um, uh, is fine, whether it's in a box like mac and cheese or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So those are pretty much the things. And if you like, I can put his link to that specific video in our chat.
Yes. Yeah, put that in there.
He's really, really up on all of the stuff that people that food manufacturers put into your food that are not good for you. And he does regular shopping trips through a lot of the grocery stores around. He's based in Chicago. So
Definitely video
yeah,
there.
I just put the YouTube video up there. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. Um, and the sauerkraut is really good for your gut health as well. So, and when you're, if even if you have quote the flu and you're taking antibiotics, you need to keep your gut health, your gut health going too. So
Right,
that's a
right.
help. Yeah. So those are the top ones that he recommended.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for sharing the video too. I'm gonna copy it right now. I'm gonna go put it over there so I can watch it. Oh, well, that's not gonna help you. Click it, Sydney, so that I can watch it later.
Yeah, I can email you the whole thing I
Yeah.
put together.
So these are things that you want to be mindful of. You want to have, um, not, I'm not trying to scare you all, but you do want to be prepared in case. And here's the thing: if it doesn't like get crazy, that's great. You just have extra stuff. Okay.
Right, right.
But if it does get crazy, you are prepared. If you have to lock your door and you have to self isolate, or even if you're not sick and the like San Francisco has called a state of emergency. Was it San Diego? San Francisco.
No, San Francisco.
Yeah, called a state of emergency.
Oh,
Now
and
they're huh?
and New Orleans as well. People don't realize it's a huge shipping port.
New Orleans called a state of emergency.
Yeah, they're doing something down there. I'm not sure if it's state of emergency, but um, they definitely are a huge shipping port for
Mm.
everything that goes up the Mississippi River from here all the way to the Canadian border.
And here's the thing, folks. I don't think you have a lot of time left to prepare. Um, because once it clicks in the collective consciousness that, oh my goodness, there's something popping off in the United States where I live, folks are going to start making runs on these stores. That's what happened in Italy. In the beginning, it wasn't, people really weren't taking it seriously. They really weren't paying attention. And then when they closed Lombardy down, the city of Lombardy, and some cities in Lombardy, I think Lombardy is the county, and there are cities in Lombardy, and they started shutting those cities down, closing them up and quarantining, putting them on lockdown. That's when people decided, oh my God, this is serious. And they started making a run for the stores. And what's going to happen is if you make a run, if you go after the fact, you're not going to get the things that you need or want. So it's best to be picking up things, putting stuff aside, making sure you have enough water. Pick up a couple of cases of water. You can get crystal geyser water, 1 gallon for $1. I just bought 2 cases for $12 over at Family Dollar. You know, so there are things you can do for yourself, even if you don't have a lot of money, which I don't have a lot of money. Um, and just like Linda was saying, I got dried beans, like a few packs of um, peas, green peas, and a few packs of chickpeas that are dried as well. My dog loves chickpeas, so she will eat that. I cook for her anyway. We have several, well, good, I don't know, 10 pounds of rice. Um, Vegetables, like Linda was saying, we have those in a can. I have frozen vegetables as well. I also have a big bag of apples. They last a long time, apples. But you can freeze them now. You can cut them up, you can freeze them, put them in your freezer, and have them, to cook with. I also have a very small portable stove that I've had for a long time. It's a butane stove, and it's a cooking camping stove. Should at some point, we have to worry about what's going on with our electricity or something like that because people are sick or whatever, um, and who knows, when people get sick and companies don't have employees to work, things go awry. So I have that. um, I have medicines, Tylenol, acetaminophen, ibuprofen, um, just things that you normally would run out to the store for. We're so used to running out to the store that, if God forbid that your city says nobody move, nobody get hurt, and you don't want to be asked out sitting around trying to figure out, well, what am I going to eat? Because we order out every night, right? So if you do this within the next couple of days, you should be okay should something happen. And, like I said, San Francisco is in a state of emergency. They haven't locked the city down yet. They haven't said all schools are closed and nobody go to work, stay in your homes. They haven't done that, but there's always that possibility. So again, you want to also use your imagination, stay healthy. You want to imagine everything going great. Things always work out for me. There's a spiritual side, and then there's also the practical side. You want to be mindful. You want
and the
to
health
go ahead, Linda.
and the health codes, the healing codes.
Right, right. Make sure you have the healing codes. Make sure everything um you're prepared. Make sure you have books to read. Should you be stuck in the house? Um, that there are things that you can do, things that keep your mind spiritually um, connected, keep your body physically healthy. You do need to focus on your health too. It's not just all woo woo and imagination and staying in your imagination. You have to eat. And if you can't get out, how are you getting your food? One thing, that did happen in China after, because they were barring people, literally coming with metal bars across your door and locking your ass in. You weren't allowed to come out, and people are taking videos through their little doorway like that. It was something like out of a science fiction movie. But if there's no movement and you're not allowed to move around, how are you going to sustain yourself? Now made it so that, you know, you could order your food online as a group, depending on what building you were living in. They had a building manager, and you know, they had some contingency plans. I don't know what our contingency plan is in the United States. I don't think we have one, quite frankly. But you know, so you have to have one. You have to have your own contingency plan. Should the schools, like in Japan, get locked down worldwide? I mean, countrywide or citywide or in your state, governor has the ability to do that. Nobody go to work, and if you're not working, you're not getting paid on some jobs. Some jobs you'll be able to work from home, and there's other jobs that you can't. Like my job is not a work from home job. So I need to make sure that I have the things that are necessary. I have 3 months supply of bird seed for my bird. And I have enough food that probably could sustain me for a month or two. And, but I don't, you know, I eat differently. So, you know, I do have, I'm able to fast. I know how to do that. Like I don't get like faint if I don't eat 3 meals a day. I never eat 3 meals a day anyway. So if you know you eat 3 meals a day, you might want to calculate, figure that out for 14 days should the city that you're in go on lockdown. So that's what we're talking about. That's what we want you to guys to get. Is anybody else doing any kind of prep? Sharon, Linda, well, Linda is. Sharon, Barb, Wanda, are you doing any type of preparation for the storm that's coming called COVID-19? Well, the storm's already here.
Yeah, I need to grab some more water, but that's probably what I'm lowest on.
On water?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I would do is if you have like old dish detergent bottles, not dish detergent, detergent bottles and stuff, or old water containers, is I would fill up tap water with that so you can use to, you know, bathe and wash, just to have on the side in case something happens. Sharon said, I'm prepared. Well, what did you do? Do you have any tips for others? Because there may be something I missed. I have flashlights. I have my light bulbs. Extra light bulbs. I have flashlights. I have batteries. I think I need to get another pack of batteries this week. I bought a lot of stuff to clean with. Tissues, toilet paper. Oh my God. Make sure you get toilet paper. There was a run on toilet paper in Wuhan. My God. Then there was some gangsters that came in and hijacked a toilet paper truck. They got arrested. They got found out. But everybody is nuts with the toilet paper. That's something that you might want to stock up on too. I didn't do anything differently than you all. Oh, okay. All right. Well, toilet paper and paper towels. They have them. They have 4 for $1 at Family Dollar too. You get a pack. You can buy 4 or 5 of those bad boys, and you have 15, 20, 30 rolls of toilet paper for $5. Barb said, I always have a supply just because that's the way I shop Costco for canned goods, frozen berries, all of my paper supplies like TP, laundry soap, everything. All right now. See, yep. My people are ready.
Yay. I sure am.
My people are ready. See, y'all are awesome. You're not sitting back and going, oh, the sky's falling. Y'all preparing. Good. Yes. So then next week we can have a regular show and it could be all, happy, joy, because we're all ready. We're ready. Put me in, coach. There's one more thing I wanted to share with you all. I think no, I shared you. Oh, that's right. There's one more website that I like. Um, and he also has a YouTube channel. And his name, hold on. Wait, where is it? Chris Martinson. And he has a website called Peak Prosperity. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Peakprosperity.com. And it's for insights about preparation. Um, he's not really, he's not, he's not a fear monger. He's kind of funny. I enjoy listening to him because he's pretty matter of fact. He makes sense. And he looks at the numbers too. He's looking at certain things too about what's happening that doesn't seem to be making any kind of sense for a lot of us out here that are not in, government positions or healthcare positions or higher ups. But anyway, he has really good insights and information. He's also on YouTube. So you can find him on YouTube and take a look at his videos, and they're really very informative. Cash, also cash. Cash, Sharon said also cash. Yeah, but you got to be careful with the cash now because the viruses live on the cash as well, apparently. The government of China um, was burning all of the money in Wuhan. Or not burning it. They wanted to, they were sanitizing it. Not burning, sanitizing it. And because the money changes hands, the virus can live on soft surfaces, I believe 6 to 12 hours after it's on there. And so they were taking the cash and trying to sterilize it. And they're supposed to be dropping new cash down into the cities so that people can, have an economic boost in the cities because right now everything is depressed. But yeah, the cash, be mindful of the cash. If there's a way for you to sterilize your cash, please do so. I don't know. I said before, like you got to keep cash on hand, but and I think you still do. I just think you need to spray it down with some Lysol, sit it down, let it be, let it air out somewhere, and then use it. But yeah, definitely you need cash. Sharon said, I've been living like this since living in New York and being in the healthcare field. All right now. Well, then that's good. That everybody is prepared and everybody's ready. But let me give you the website for oh for his YouTube, so you can go check that out. He's been shadow banned by YouTube as well, but he's really good. He makes a lot of good points, and he's very helpful with things that you can do to prepare yourself because there may be something that you didn't even think of that you might have forgotten about, and it's just great to have that reminder. I have to get more wine to have on the side, and a bottle of Everclear. Apparently, Everclear is great to use for injuries and stuff like that. That's something you just want to have in the house and put it on the side and put it in the corner. But I'm gonna have to have wine because if I'm gonna be quarantined 14 days and I can't have any wine, I'm getting shot, right? Shot by the police because I'm running to the liquor store. Just kidding. Yeah, definitely need some wine on the side. I'm gonna have to get a container so I can have a little wine on the side. Just trying to make light of a situation that has many people afraid and scared. And Henny Penny in the sky is falling, and Henny Penny the sky may fall. The sky may fall, but are you ready? Do you have your umbrella? That's it. So if you're ready, then you don't have to be afraid. If you're prepared, you don't have to be afraid. I want to thank you all for joining us here today, and I hope that some of these things that I gave was useful. I hope you understand the coronavirus a little bit better. I mean, the COVID-19. Know what the symptoms are. Know what to do for yourself. Know how to take care of your family. Know how to take care of yourself and your community as well. So make sure you wash your hands. Linda, do you have anything else you want to share?
Nope, just a good show. Thanks everybody for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, if you have not watched the videos from January and up and through February, because today's March 1st, you will be able to click on one of these little icons that will pop up on either side of the screen, and you can watch the video from last week. You can watch any of our videos. We talk about Neville Goddard and I am statements. You can visit us. Yes, wine bar. You can visit us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can follow us on all of those different channels. The links are in the channel banner. And if you'd like to get an Indigo Room mug or a water jug to hold your water during these times of craziness, to remind you, you can pick all that stuff up over on the indigoroom.org website. We have other kinds of information there. And you can also watch videos 9 times out of 10, they're live over there. If you'd like to make a donation to the Indigo Room, it's $ Indigo Room, or you can click on the PayPal link. It is in the description below. Cash App, $ Indigo Room. And we do have one-on-one coaching available. It's 30 minutes free. The information is in the description below. If you have sent me an email and I did not respond to you, I will get to you. I apologize. I will definitely get to you. And remember who you are. Remember that you are source energy right here in a physical body. Remember you can be, do, and have anything that you desire. And remember, it's not being extraordinary that makes you unique. It's your uniqueness that makes you extraordinary. Don't forget to pick up your CMOS if you haven't gotten it. That's also a healthy immune buster. And stay healthy, stay positive. Remember to focus on health, love, joy, peace for yourself and for all of us. It's going to be a bit of a rocky ride, but we'll get through it. Love you. Bye.